Hello, my name is Claire Stallard and I'm a Blue Cross animal behaviourist, and this is my dog Nuvo. Some pet dogs reach adulthood without being fully house trained. In this video, we'll tell you why this might be the case and what you can do about it. Although it's easy to house train a puppy, things can go wrong with this process if it isn't done correctly. Luckily, house training an adult dog is quite simple and new habits can be taught. However, this will take time and patience, so if you want your dog to do well, you must be dedicated to this training. There are 3 golden rules for house training your dog: cleaning, sticking to a routine, and training. If your dog has gone to the toilet on the carpet before, chances are he'll still be able to smell it even though you've cleaned thoroughly. Now please avoid using ammonia-based products. Instead, use a 10% solution of biological washing powder. This is really important as it will get rid of all of the traces of poo and wee. If you don't do this, your dog might return to the area time and time again. Rule number 2, routine. It's essential that you establish a clear routine for your dog. Make sure you feed him every day at the same time, and the same goes for exercise. If you feed your dog at the same time, then you'll have a rough idea of when he needs to go to the toilet. This will give you a real head start when it comes down to the next stage, which is training. Training is all about developing a new routine for your dog. The more you do it, the stronger it will become. If you want your dog to toilet outside, you'll have to take him there, come wind, rain or shine. Remember, your dog cannot house train himself, so you have to do this for him. Take your dog out into the garden where you'd like him to go, first thing in the morning, last thing at night, and extremely regularly throughout the day. Pay particular attention to the times after he's eaten, after he wakes up, or when he gets excited. During these early stages of training, it's really important that you supervise your dog, but don't interact with them too much, as you want their mind to be on the job at hand. If your dog has an established house training problem, it's unlikely that he'll want to go at first, so give it 5 minutes, after which point you can go back inside the house. Be careful at this time, just be extra vigilant and pay attention to what he does, because he might want to go to the toilet inside. After 20 minutes, pop outside and repeat the process. If they haven't been within 5 minutes, go back inside the house. Unfortunately, you're going to have to repeat this process until they go. Dogs, when they need to go to the toilet, they typically carry out certain behaviours. They sniff the ground, they might circle, he might try to access an area of the house that he's previously toileted in. He might generally become a bit restless and excitable. So pay particular attention to any of these behaviours, and as soon as he does them, pop him outside again and hopefully he'll go to the toilet. Remember, this will be really hard for some dogs who have spent some time toileting in the house thinking that this was the right place to go. When your dog does go to the toilet, give him some gentle praise. So what about night time? Don't forget to let your dog out last thing at night. If you're lucky enough to have a dog that sleeps through the night without toileting, then that's fantastic. But if you're finding that you're coming down to a few accidents, then you'll need to put a few things in place. The easiest thing to do is to have your dog sleep upstairs with you, but in their own bed. This way, if they get restless and need to go to the toilet, then you'll be there to let them out in the garden. If this isn't an option, then by process of elimination, you'll have to experiment with the times that you get up to figure out what time your dog needs to go to the toilet. That way, you'll be able to keep your training on track. Although this sounds drastic, it's no different to what you would do if you were house training a puppy. Hopefully, you won't have to do this for very long, only until new habits are established. Ideally, during the first few weeks of establishing this new habit, you'll want to avoid leaving your dog alone. If you can't, then expect some setbacks along the way, but don't worry too much about this. If you do come home and find your dog has gone to the toilet, don't punish him. Simply act as though he hasn't gone. Simply clear up the mess and carry on as normal. This is particularly important as you will avoid your dog anticipating your return with something unpleasant, which could trigger anxiety, which could cause your dog to toilet even more. There is a common misconception that dogs know when they have done something wrong. They can appear to look guilty, and this might cause some owners to punish them. Dogs that look guilty are doing nothing more than responding to your disappointment, upset or anger. This is known as appeasement behaviour, which is a dog's way of diffusing tension in response to feeling threatened. It's a fact that punishment will not help house train your dog, so don't do it. Instead, let's concentrate on what we know works best. Throughout all of this, stay on track, be positive, and remember the 3 rules. If you have any setbacks, don't worry about this. Habits are formed by being consistent and having a good routine. Just remember that dogs cannot train themselves, they need us to help them.